Attack Attack dropped their new album Attack Attack 2 in
Yeah.
Roman numerals. Aye.
First record in over a decade, first full length. They've been back
Yeah.
for a few years. They've dropped a couple of EPs, but this is the first full length. They're doing another self-titled. They put out a self-titled back in 2010, which is my favorite Attack Attack record. They're doing it again. Glory, take it away.
Okay, so I didn't have any expectations for this record. I mean, it's a name that kind of like I moved through the scene knowing the
Crabcore.
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 Couldn't get away from it, even though I wasn't really in that circle of like metalcore. They've always kind of intrigued me because they're just such a weird band, especially when we first started the podcast. That's when they came back. So it's like they knew. They were like, okay, they're doing shit. Let's give them something to talk about. So honestly, my first real introduction to them was Kawaii Cowboys. So I always talk about it. When I have to mention it because it's like that was like how I met you, you know? So it's just weird. Um, I think this record's good. I think it's like I think it's definitely one of the better releases just in general in recent time. I think they covered a lot of bases. I mean, they switch up the genre a little bit towards the end. They get a little bit weird with some of the tracks. I think it's fun. I think that the record is cool. There are a couple like rap moments that are really corny, but I'm trying to give grace. You know, I'm trying to give grace because I think if I'm trying to rate everyone on the scale of Motionless in White, if I can give Motionless in White grace for being a little cringe sometimes, I can give everyone a little bit of grace. So that is your one fucking ticket that I'm giving to you is sure, I'll let it pass. I think the singles are obviously some of my favorites off the record. More specifically, I Complain on r/metalcore. I think that song is fucking phenomenal. Um, I really liked One Hit Wonder. I did like Big Booty Britches, and I also did like fuck, was it? It was towards the end. Oh, yeah, it was Jump Jump. I liked the record a lot. I enjoyed it. They moved around. It wasn't all heavy. It wasn't all light. They had some rap in there. It was fun. You know, it kept my attention the whole way through, which is really good. Especially with a 7-hour playlist,
Lumen
looking at me in
over
the
you.
eyes,
Lumen over your head.
You know?
Um, I'm a big Attack Attack fan. I really dig, like I said, the self-titled, the first one is my personal favorite Attack Attack record. I spent a lot of time with that album when I was kind of getting into this band. That's the record that I just naturally gravitated towards. Although I appreciate everything that they've done, that they did pre-hiatus, and I've liked everything they've done post-hiatus, but it's kind of felt like they've been playing it safe across the board with all of the EPs that they've kind of put out leading up to this record. Kind of staying in the same lane, although going outside and experimenting with each song slightly. But overall, it kind of, especially after hearing this record, all kind of fits in the same lane of,
Yeah.
kind of just like traditional modern sounding metalcore, which I was fine with if that's what this band was going to evolve into in the current phase, with some slight variations on songs to keep things interesting and have some Attack Attack-esque flair to it. I was totally cool with that. But this record scratch the itch of what I want from Attack Attack. Attack Attack is not a band that's supposed to be the traditional straight down the lane what is happening in the genre at the current time, which is kind of what I felt the band was morphing into with those EPs. Although, like I said, I love them. I love those EPs, especially Dark Waves. But this record is a modern spin on what the band was doing pre-hiatus, and I love that. It is so all over the place, but in the best way possible, because it's so all over the place, but it is so cohesive when they're doing it. It's wild that they're able to do all these different genres and all these crazy things and have a super heavy song and then a techno song and then a just straight up metalcore song and then a song with a bunch of rapping on it and then like slow down for a second and then pummel you again, and like it all just make sense at the end of the day. Is a formula that not most bands cannot crack, which I really appreciate. And I said that at some point during the single rollout, because I was kind of like, hearing the singles, I was already kind of seeing the vision for the record and where things were going to go. So I called it pretty early, saying a similar thing to like what I just said of, this is going to be a modern take on what Attack Attack was doing, what Attack Attack has done previously in their career, kind of just doing whatever the fuck, throwing it at all the wall, and it all somehow sticking and making a shitload of sense. That's what this record is, and that's why I really, really love this record. I have to spend more time with it, because this is definitely, I have a feeling this is going to be up there for me if I spend more time with it. But like Gloria's been saying, there was so much music to consume this week. It was just like, get an opinion on it and move on, dude, because you got more albums to chat about. I love the way it opens with One Hit Wonder. Dance with Will Ramos has seriously grown on me because it's one of those really, it's like the classic Attack Attack song that's super weird, super off-putting. Why does it sound like that with a feature like that? But it makes so much sense. It's so fun to listen to. That's basically what this record is. Chainless, Carmageddon, Live, Love, and Die, I Complain on r/metalcore, all absolutely phenomenal songs. You know, I could sit here and name a majority of the record as favorites. I just think it's incredibly solid, and it kind of feels like we fully have Attack Attack back. They were testing the waters, doing like what you should do with EPs, kind of trying out different things, seeing what would work with this current reformed version of the band, and then they were able to kind of go all the way with it with this the second self-titled record, and I think that's really, really dope. I'm really digging this record. When this review comes out, they'll have already kicked off a headlining tour in support of this record. So peep the dates. They're touring all over the U.S. So check, see if it's coming near you. They crush live. So highly recommend.